Hello, you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of The Orb. Tonight I'm playing Greg. We're playing some Noobcon practice. Only one Mishra's Factory. So, Mishra's Factory is kind of a good card. Noobcon said, let's play with just one. And mess with everyone's heads. I like it. Make some slight changes to the decks, I think. Speaking of which, let's take a look at Greg's deck. Let's take a look at Greg's deck. This deck, I believe, is built around the 4 cards almost in the middle, the 4 Blood Moons out there. I understand why. Swedish, I think, tends to be even more greedy than Atlantic, even more greedy than Eternal. Just because Eternal, you have 4 strip mines, you know, it's tough to go wide, it's tough to jam out 5 colors. Atlantic has an extra set. You have Fallen Empires, which makes black even more powerful. It makes white even more powerful. It does a lot of things that lets you stay almost mono-colored. But Swedish doesn't have that, and I think people abuse the dual lands. So I like this thought. 4 Blood Moons, and then he surrounds it with big beaters. He's got 4 Urnums, 4 Suchis. He's got 3 Argothian Pixies to protect against other artifacts coming his way. Does have mana ramp in the form of the birds and the Llanowar Elves. I love that he keeps 1 channel in there. I mean, you have 2 Suchis, pay 8 life, right? 2 green, 8 life, drop 2 Suchis on down. Or better yet, he has 4 Disintegrates. Channel Disintegrate, it's like Channel Fireball, but just as effective. He's running, you know, a bunch of lands, including forests, so he can still use green, even with a Blood Moon down. And the sideboard looks like he's concerned about artifacts and enchantments, which most of us are. He also has 1 sneaky little Chains of Mistopheles on there for the folks that like to draw more than 1 card a turn. I like that sideboard tech. Let's take a quick look at my deck. And here's a look at my deck. Main creatures are 4 Atog and 3 Sedge Troll. I'm running pretty close to a full burn package with 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Chain Lightning, 3 Psyblast. I'm also dealing damage through Ankh of Mishra for Black Vice, so I just jammed as much heat as humanly possible into this deck. Atog eats the artifacts that speed up my deck. You know, on the sideboard, my high-tech cards there are the Copper Tablets and Armageddons. Just a way to clear off the board or continuously deal damage for those pesky decks that are just so close but yet so far away. I also have stacked in there all the good cards on the right, Demonic Tutor and Mind Twist and the you know, the Loa and this. Oh, I do have a City in a Bottle, but a Wheel. I am missing a Time Twister, unfortunately, and I am running the 1 Mishra's Factory. So let's go ahead and take a look at game number 1. And here we go with game number 1. When you get a chance, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and leave us a comment. And holy shit, my opponent leads off with a Loa. Never what you want to see turn 1. He passes because he wants to keep as many cards in hand. Oh, look at this. I play a Volcanic, a Chain Lightning, put him on 17, and I also drop a Pearl and a Black Vice. So that Black Vice is going to make him think twice about using that Loa. What a way to shut off Loa. Effective. Opponent drops out 2 Moxen. He's already down to 15, though. I mean, he took 2 from the Vice. and 3 from the Chain Lightning, so ouch. Oh, here we go. Let's speed that clock up. Insult to injury. Anka Mishra comes out. I strip his Loa out for good measure. 6 going to 7, so I'm sure he's not going to keep anything in hand anymore. Oh, but he doesn't have another land to follow up with. He has to disintegrate me for 1 just to get a card out of my hand. So I go to 19. Wow, I haven't really even done anything. He's already on 13. I mean, I'm out there just pummeling him. It's like I'm fighting with a sledgehammer. Takes another 2 from Black Vice. Oh, brutal. Look at this. Misses another land drop, and he just scoops. That was a quick one. Wow. So I was going to deal him a bunch of damage anyways. Atog was going to come in for a blinding amount, probably a game-winning amount. So let's go ahead and move on over to game number 2. So game number 1's in. We swapped out some cards. Unfortunately, my opponent failed to hit some mana sources other than the 2 Moxen and the Loa, and things went quickly. But the opposite is happening now. He leads with a Forest, shoots out a Ruby and a Llanowar Elf. So he is ramping and ramping quickly. I have a C, and look at this. His upkeep, I'm going to Ancestral. Always a good feeling. I have a blinding amount of cards in my hand now. And look at this. My opponent's up to 5 mana sources already on a second turn. Tapping 4 for an Irnum. Tapping another one for a Birds of Paradise. Wow. I think he's down to like 1 card in hand. Second turn Irnum feels good. Play out a Plateau. Looks like I tap 1 for a Soul Ring. Okay, tapping 3. Looks like I'm going to Time Walk, use 2 of it. Swedish, no mana burn. And hit another land drops. Okay, so now I can play something up to 5. Okay, Mind Twist. Ooh, get a Suchi. Nice. That was a good hit. Oh, and play down a Sedge Troll. This is going to be a pain in the ass for him, as I'll have a constant blocker. Not necessarily this turn, but I'll have a constant blocker for the Irnum. That's the real threat he has. He comes in for 4 with the Irnum and puts me down to 16. Lays out a City of Brass. It's a cool ass looking City of Brass. Looks like it's got the night sky with it. Ooh, play out my Lone Mistress Factory. And an Atog. Okay, threats of my own on the board. Pass to my opponent. He picks up a Soul Ring. That's not really helpful at this point. He can pretty well produce all the mana he needs to produce. You know, minus a Disintegrate for 16. But, you know, just shy of that, he can do about anything he wants. Oh, deciding what to do here. Looks like Atog has Forest Walk now. Okay, looks like I'm sending the whole team in here. Urnham Jin started on the offensive, but has soon been knocked back to defensive fighting position. He has a big body to block with. I think my opponent knows I have some tricks up my sleeve. He saw the burn. Yeah, I guess he saw a little bit of burn. Yep. He blocks a factory, so my lonely factory down. It's a 2-for-1 in my opponent's favor, but I think I'm kind of far ahead. I got a couple extra combative creatures on board. Okay, he's swinging back for 1. Puts me down to 15. He's on 16. Yeah, I do have a shit ton of good cards in the graveyard. Ancestral, Time Walk, Mind Twist, so yeah, those cards make a difference, a big-ass difference in Old School, obviously. And when you get them, you tend to do pretty good. So I'm swinging back in. Looks like I get another 4 in. Opponent's down to 12. This game's starting to slip away from him. He's tapping 4. Okay, Suchi down. Oh, look at this. Suchi suffers an immediate side blast and straight to the bin. Happy to trade that 1-for-1 and lose 2 life. We're both on 12, but I have the applied pressure with the Sedge Troll and that smiling, creepy Atog. That little bastard is sneaky. So, I do only have 1 artifact on board. You know, at this point, he's got 2 turns. And I have a whole pocket full of burn. And he does have a couple bodies out there to block. Okay, Crumble. He crumbles my Soul Ring. I decide not to sack it to Atog so I could gain 1 life. I go up to 12. Greg's down to 8. This is starting to look a little bit more bleak as the minutes pass by here. Okay. Body in front of the Sedge Troll. He's taking 1 and just going to 7. Comes in for 1 again with Land of War Elf. And he buys himself some more time. Birds of Paradise is just a fucking speed bump in the road at this point. I mean, there's dead birds on the road, and people are going, why are all these dead birds on the road? I mean, Sedge Troll is murdering some birds right now. Okay, he's still got a card in hand. On 6. Uh-oh, Chain Lightning. Is he tapping 2 to send it back? He is. Okay, so I chain out his Land of War Elf. He chains out. Okay, that's why I didn't send it back. Didn't need to. There we go. Chains of Mistopheles. That sideboard tech for the draw 7s. Wow. So when you play Angry Burn, sometimes the games go real quick, and then sometimes they don't and you lose. I love Greg's deck, though. We didn't get a chance to see the Blood Moons out. I think that would have really slowed me down. Would have taken out a big chunk of mine. As always, thanks for watching The Orb.